Revelation 9:13 through 16 describes the release of 4 angels who are bound at the Euphrates River and the aftermath of their release, the slaying of 1/3 of mankind by 200 million horsemen. And the 6th angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the 4 horns of the golden altar which is before God, saying to the 6th angel which had the trumpet, Loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. And the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay the 3rd part of men. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000,000, and I heard the number of them. The angels released from the Euphrates River are probably fallen angels because they have been bound there. The Greek word for bound, deo, is only used twice in the book of Revelation. The other verse where this word appears is in Revelation 20 verse 2, which describes Satan being bound for 1,000 years. And he laid hold of the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Revelation 27 indicates that the binding of Satan for 1,000 years is connected to his imprisonment, and when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. Given the context of how the word deo is used in Revelation 22 and 7, it is likely that the use of deo in Revelation 9:14 is meant to convey the sense that the 4 angels bound at the Euphrates River are imprisoned in a similar manner that Satan will be imprisoned for 1,000 years. The treatment of these 4 angels is interesting to note because they will be temporarily released from their bondage, unlike the group of angels described in Jude 1:6 and 2 Peter 2 verse 4. And the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto judgment of the great day. Jude 1:6. For if God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell, and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment. 2 Peter 2:4. We know the Bible to be true and without contradiction or error, so I do not believe there is a contradiction between Revelation 9:14, Jude 1:6, and 2 Peter 2:4. I think these verses can be harmonized by the likely possibility that the 4 angels are kept at a different location than the group of angels mentioned in Jude 1:6 and 2 Peter 2:4, the location Peter mentioned, which is hell. Revelation 9:14 through 15 states that the 4 angels who will be released were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year at the Euphrates River. This phrase indicates that these angels are reserved for a specific purpose, primarily causing the type of chaos that leads to the death of 1/3 of mankind. It would make sense for the 4 angels to play some role in stirring up a large-scale conflict, like the unclean spirits will rally the kings of the earth to battle following the pouring out of the 6th vial, Revelation 16:13 through 14. But what we know for sure is that they will be released and that 1/3 of mankind will be killed by 200 million horsemen that these 4 angels will be leading the charge of. This prophecy seems a ways off, but as we know, the Euphrates River is currently drying up. Massive damming upriver, different nations diverting water and using it for their resources to take away from people downriver, really strategically using water, is playing a huge role in the drying up the river, but there is also massive droughts going on in Iraq. But nothing in this prophecy says that one day we'll wake up and the Euphrates River will be disappeared and then the angels will be released. Many different prophecies are just told to us that they will happen. So when they start to happen, no matter if it's humans damming them up, different nations trying to divert the water or even empty the water and waste it to try to tactically use the water to take it from their enemies downstream, it doesn't matter, because all that matters is that the prophecy says the river will dry up, and that's what we're seeing. It's the same when we see different technologies people are putting in their hands and their heads to buy and sell, or when we're not being allowed to buy and sell. Clearly that is an indication of moving towards the fulfillment of Revelation 13:17 of not being able to buy or sell without a mark in your hand or your head. These things are just happening on their own. It'll look like it'll make sense to the world. What it really will be prophecy being fulfilled. And when the ultimate fulfillment of it takes place on all these different levels, we'll know for sure then. It won't be totally secret. God doesn't keep his prophecies secret. But when the final fulfillment of his prophecies happen, because sometimes we see twofold prophecies in different areas, but when we see the final fulfillment of them, we can know for absolute certain that this will be a Bible prophecy fulfilled. God doesn't deceive. He doesn't lead us questioning. He will make it very clear to his people who are alive during this time. I'm also about to post an interesting video of the correlation between the 4 angels at the Euphrates and what just went on in 2020. But yeah, that definitely cannot be posted here. But as far as Revelation 9 goes and the 4 angels that are bound under the Euphrates, they are set for a certain time, place, hour, and year. And when they come upon the earth, when the Euphrates is dried up, maybe fully, maybe not, but we know it's drying up partially now, absolutely. But when they are released, this will be during the final fulfillments of the prophecies of the Bible and the worst events that the earth has ever seen, with the 1/3 of mankind being slayed by the 200 million horsemen being commanded by the 4 angels. Keep your hearts fixed on Jesus, because it sure seems like time is very short. Thanks for watching, and God bless.